leadership, the need for political leadership, and that I want to say that political leadership, how do we actually strive? Because we as a peace and justice forum, I want to compensate here because we remain divided in a CRI. Some said why are to sign, how do we organize ourselves? Because with priests and sisters in our church, you said we are touchy, we may not be together, but I think with our whole mandate of institutional setup, where how do you set strategize church today in India with cardinals, with priests, with institutions, and the lay people. I'm talking of lay people here, especially with regard to SC status. Also, I want to reinforce where people, tribals and Dalits are totally divided. How do you strategize to move people, motivate them for 2024? It's a
Yes.
very good stage for us.
What we are lacking at present is there is no communication channel with our people. That is the first point. We don't have a communication, and I'm working especially amongst the tribal Christians in Chhattisgarh. I have not been able to move out. I've got my own restraints. So what I found is somehow when we have been able to communicate with them, they have immediately picked up all the issues. So first thing was we tried very hard to come on, get united, get united. Nobody gets united. That is my personal experience. I may be wrong. I don't challenge all that. But what I have seen is a common fear. There was this thing, anti-conversion bill, which has come out, which had come up in Chhattisgarh. That was in 2006 when there was a BJP government, and there was also a BJP government in the center. We were able to defeat it. 25,000 people protested on the streets, and there were some legal questions which we raised. So we can. The question is explaining them the threat, explaining the fear, bringing it down to their level of communication. We talk in English, we talk in so high profile words, and we make some references in this book and that book and what he's saying. All these things don't get absorbed by the people who are at the lowest rung of a Christian community. First, we have to learn to speak in their language, in their method. So that is a lacking part. Second lacking part, what I have seen, now we have very clearly divided the Christianity into two parts. What I fully agree with you. First part is the tribal Dalits I can call them have-nots, who don't have access to anything. That is one particular group, and they are the most devoted group. They are ready to die. I'll just give you an example. In my about 80 kilometers from here, 6 people were abducted, and they were ruthlessly beaten up, and they were about to die, all 6 of them. And they said, you just give up Christianity, we'll stop beating you. And all those Christians refused. They said, no, we are prepared to die, but we don't give up. Just 7 days back. So this is the group which can work, and this is the group which gave me 1,14,285 votes this time. And now the second part which I am coming to, these are hunky-dory Christians. I belong to them. I come from those families. I was in the CNI and everything. I know very well all dinners and parties and everything, and no feelings. It is there. So now these are the people who are not concerned. I was one of them. We are away from the pain. We have insulated ourselves. So I feel personally the communication level of these particular churches will have to be on a very different plane, on a very different method. First thing, if you want to see Roman Catholics, this is the first time that the Catholic Church has supported me after 22 years of my persuasion. 22 years. Continuously I have been requesting, and after a lot of facing abuses and everything, but ultimately they have accepted, and this was the time when they supported me in this particular elections. So once, little strokes fell great oaks. It happens, it will come. We should have the patience. We will have to find methods and means of addressing these two different groups in the language which they understand. For Roman Catholics, it will have to be from their hierarchy. You cannot go and judge, okay, friends, come on, start listening to me. Nobody is going to listen to you. From the other Protestant groups, we can add Methodist, and there are so many dozens of them, CNI and all. For approaching these groups are absolutely not bothered what's happening. They just want them roti and boti. They want their slice of the cake, and matters ends there. So please don't waste your time over there. If you are aware, in this Ayodhya, in the Lucknow diocese, The prayer, the arti was done in a prayer hall. They were welcomed, the Ram Lalla welcome. I've got nothing against Ram Lalla or his statue or his mandir or anything. We have got absolutely no issues out there. My issue is how can the altar be shared with a different faith, which is against our berefts of law, which is against our foundations of law. So these are the people who are opportunity seekers. Don't bother them. This is not Christianity. So I feel that the Christianity now broadly can be divided into two particular groups. Catholics are very holy and pious people. Of course, they are a group of sheep who just obey to their leader. That's one part. So you have to find a means to address to them. Second group is this tribal groups, and I know the language. I can easily mobilize them, and I have worked, and I've got a strong and this time. So these are the things where we have to work on. We have to work on communication first. First is the communication. Now, even RSS doesn't have that strength what we have. Right across the country, thousands of church on the same day are connecting together. What a massive audience you have on that particular day. They have to spend millions, thousands, lakhs just to gather people so that they can listen to them. And we already have that. And then, if you remember Ambedkar, in one of his books, when he gave a speech in Patna, he clearly said there is no power that can defeat the Christians. Why? Because every evening they are going out with their Bibles and they listen to no one and they preach. So this is the force, this is the power what we have got. We have not been able to channelize this strength. And to this particular organization, we have to find means and methods and how to go about it. There is absolutely no reason if we go on criticizing and running after this and nothing of doing. And now I'll just take another 2 minutes and clarify that politics we have never been able to understand. Understand? Because our Christian people, so many friends of mine who are Christians and are in good political posts, they are sycophants. They are not at all bothered about what's happening to your Christian community, what's happening to your faith. My 6 pastors were killed with stones, and none of these spoke up. If you remember Kandhamal, at time when so many people, 2,000 people died, and when he died, there were 40 members of parliaments, total, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, who were Christians. Did you ever hear a voice coming up over there? They were bound by the party line. So we don't need such politicians. We don't have to go after such politicians. Then there is another group. We should go to any party which shares no ideology. And I'm sorry to say, our Christian politicians, they have got no ideology moorings at all. So these are fake gods, false prophets. We have to leave them alone. We have to start working on a new platform, a new line of thought, which I am already put forward. And my method of reaching may be faulty. Maybe it has got a lot of lacunas inside that. I don't know. I mean, these people can suggest, you can come along. The church has to open up. It has to open up to allow political space. And political space has to be centered properly. You have to separate the wheat from the chaff. That is my point. And of course, in tribal, it's a long, long topic. If we start talking about tribals, we can meet in smaller groups and try to keep pushing these things. Thank you all so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Arun. As you suggested, communication is the most important issue to unite. There are more than 10 political parties in the country, Christian political parties. But we don't have collaboration, we don't have communication. What we say is that we have to communicate, we have to come together. Thank you very much. Thank you.